Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast here in Liverpool, joined by Dave Coldwell. Dave, boxing's just such a horrible, horrible sport sometimes.
Do you know what? Jordan Gill is one of the most dedicated people I ever meet. You know, he's a solid kid, just a lovely kid to be around, and he puts absolutely everything into the sport. He's got a wife and family down in Peterborough, you know, 3.5 hours away, but he lives up here, so he can train every day and give everything for the sport. And he just keeps having bad luck. He hadn't run over a cat. He must have reversed over it and then gone back over it again about 10 times, smashed a few mirrors or been really, really bad in a previous life. I don't know, because he just keeps having shit. I'm gutted for him tonight. I'm gutted for him, and he's devastated. But it could have been so much worse. It could have been so much worse. You know, first thing I said to him when he was still in the ring, I said, "Listen, it's in your hair. If it had been on your face, then it's a plastic surgery job, and you know you're out for a long, long time, and it's going to keep reopening it. It's a bad cut. But when it's healed, it's on his hairline. It's not going to affect him in a fight. So he should be very, very thankful for that. And also, there's lessons to be learned from that fight, which will go forward into making him a better fighter anyway."
Yeah, in terms of the bad luck that Jordan's had, obviously, with the European title fight coming up, it's an unlucky time to get a cut. But because he hasn't fought in 9 months, obviously tonight was a good chance to get the ring rust off. If he'd have fought potentially a month ago or 2 months ago when he was meant to, he wouldn't have had to fight tonight. So it's kind of like the bad luck has created more bad luck. Like it's a continuous.
Delays, illness, COVID. There's been so many things, especially over the last couple of years for him. You know, he had his thyroid issue. Where we didn't think he was going to be able to box again. So he's in front, and he's got to understand that. He is in front. It could have been so much worse going back to that. Then obviously, you know, he was supposed to be fighting for the European title tonight, and then Guerfi gets ill. And so, yeah, it's... I don't know what serves, to be honest. It's just one of those things. It's part of life. It's part of boxing. Listen, there's a lot more people worse off than what he is and what we are, you know. It's you've got to put things into perspective, but it's easy saying that, but when it's you, when it's your life, it's your career, it hurts. Do you know what I mean? So it's all right when people like me or yourselves or whatever say, "Oh, you know, it could have been worse," or, you know, don't look on the...
You're never going to see it like that, are you?
But yeah, you're not going to see it. Not while it's raw and while it is. Maybe, you know, in a couple of weeks' time or whatever, when Eddie gets a confirmed date. But Eddie, you know, Eddie said roughly when it could be, and it's not too bad. It's just he's got his heart set on the European title. You know, that's why it was a case of that's the route that we want to go. He's got his heart set on the European title. It's a prestigious title, and it's a case of building him as a fighter and him, you know, wanting to do things the right ways. You know, so he's got his heart set on that, and it means a lot to him. And it just keeps going further and further away, because if you remember, he was supposed to be fighting Gargo for the European title. It was mandatory for him. We got a date and everything, and then we look on Twitter and there's an announcement that Gargo was fighting Guerfi. That slipped in a voluntary, and then he goes and gets beat. And so it's this European title's, you know, a little bit cursed at the moment, but he'll get there.
And I said to him, how did he feel in the 3 rounds tonight? Obviously, from the outside, we won't be able to take too much on how Jordan is looking in general, but because he hasn't fought in 9 months, obviously been in the gym working hard, how ready is he, away from obviously the cut and the bad luck tonight, how ready is he for this fight with Guerfi?
Oh, he's ready. He is ready. The whole, you know, being out for 9 months and I think before that, again, because of the pandemic, he had not fought for a year before that. So, or a long, I can't remember. There was Bellotti, then Juarez, who we boxed during the pandemic. But there's gaps between each of those two. And then from February to now, at least he's had the whole fight night experience again, and, you know, just walking out in front of a crowd, which he's not done for a long time, because his 2 fights he had were both behind closed doors. So just walking out in front of a bit of a crowd again. And, you know, we had 3 rounds, and 3 rounds of somebody punching your back with 8-ounce gloves on. It's all part of the experience. And so there is a positive out of it. It just doesn't feel like that for him right now, but there is a positive out of it, because he's had a little run out. He wouldn't have been moaning if he'd have gone out and blasted him out in the third round or fourth round, and then we wouldn't have said, oh well, that was a waste of time. So there are positives out of it, so it'll go towards the next fight.
I know Eddie said potentially end of February. I kind of know, I don't know how many people outside of boxing know, but I know an inkling of what sort of show it was meant to be on in January. Have you been told what sort of show it will be in February? Or?
No, I didn't even ask him. Do you know what? Fair play, Eddie. As soon as we got out of the ring, Eddie came over and says, the first thing he said was, you must be the unluckiest fighter in Britain.
Didn't he call him that at the presser as well? I'm sure he did, didn't he?
Yeah. So he said his fault again. Blame Eddie. But yeah, the show in January would have been nice, but it is what it is. Listen, it doesn't matter. It could be wherever, as long as Jordan gets to fight for and win that European title. That's all that matters, really.
Yeah, he's got such an. When he ends his career, if he ever writes an autobiography or whatever, there's going to be so many ups and downs and whatnot. I know you said about how he wants to win this European title, and that would be like the milestone for him. Is it kind of got to the point where if he wins it, it's a milestone where he can it'll be like a big sigh of relief and a weight off the shoulders to know that he's European level? Because I think we know he's a European level fighter and beyond. Just get that, and it's a milestone he really wants to hit, basically, isn't it?
It is. It's a milestone he wants to hit before he goes on. Listen, when he fought Juarez is like boxed at top world level. He's involved in a fight a year contender with Benito Donaire a few years back. And very experienced, very good fighter, non-stop aggressive little fucker, just throwing power shots all the way through. And he boxed a brilliant fight against him. All these Mexicans that are coming over and doing jobs on fighters. If you look at who Juarez is one of the best ones that's been over in this recent crop where they've been pulling off upsets. Better than your Laras and people like that, his pedigree and things like that. So he's never had the respect for that win. It's not really done anything. People don't look at when Eddie even mentions about all these Mexicans that come over and do this and beat him. Jordan's fought a Mexican and boxed really, really well against him. But nothing's kind of like he's not had the boost from that win.
Do you feel like he needs a European title win for people to go, right, actually now we know how good Jordan Gill is?
Yeah, definitely. And also for him. Listen, people all got opinions. They're always going to have opinions. Whether you can be, you Floyd Mayweather, and there's people out there that say he's overrated. People that are not Canelo's, people that forgot about Lomachenko because he lost one fight. So if you're them kind of fighters and people are going to be out there saying that you're not that good, then if you're anybody else, then of course you can have the same sort of thing, but it's just people's opinions. What's important is what you think of yourself. And at the end of your boxing career, can you look back on your career, whatever happens, can you look back on your career and say, I'm happy with that, I'm satisfied with that. I don't have to come back when I'm 45 years old because I'm satisfied with what I achieved. And if Jordan wins the European title, that's a big thing for him. That's a big goal for him. When we first spoke about European title, I didn't realise how big a goal that was for him. But it is a massive goal. It's not the end goal, but it's a massive, massive part of what he wants to have as his career content, as his career legacy.
All right, Dave, thank you very much for giving me some of your time. Obviously a disappointing night, but like I said to Jordan, when it does happen in February, we can have a celebration on camera instead, can't we?
Listen, he's never had a drink, even
Has he not ever? Never had a drink?
Never ever had a drink. When he wins this European title, I'm telling you, there's a few people in our gym that are going to do his best to get him pissed. 100%. 100%.
I thought he was going to say he's going to have a cheeky glass. He's going to get pissed. He's going to get pissed.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Dave, sweet.
Thanks for it.
Cheers, mate.